Welcome to another edition of Catching Up with the Ramily with Fordham Basketball alum Marcus Stout, class of 2008. Emmanuel Barbari with you. Marcus, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Marcus, you're sixth on the Fordham all-time scoring list, over 1,700 points in your four-year career, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015. What does Fordham mean to you when it pops into your mind?
Fordham it's just a special time in my life. For me, the one thing I would say Fordham means to me, and it allowed me to be myself, to really grow into who I was as a young man and as a player. I really feel like I came into my own at that point in my career. So I'm just always grateful, for my time at Fordham, just for allowing me to be free and play the game at a high level.
Marcus, what you're up to lately, you started Stout Basketball, where you're helping youth basketball players. You have your own YouTube page, Marcus Stout Basketball Breakdown. How did those ideas originate for you?
Well, once I got done playing, I played a few seasons overseas. Had a few injuries that cut my career short. So I was kind of lost, to be honest with you. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I've been playing basketball my whole life. I wanted to play professionally. Had a chance to do it. So I had a friend by the name of Toby Tanzel, who was my weight training guy at the time, and he invited me out one time, being back home in Michigan. And that kind of carried me into where I'm at now. To keep a long story short, I was able to come back out to New York and live here for about 5 years with Ross Burns, who recruited me to Fordham, actually. I was able to work with him with a lot of the youth in New York. And then just having a passion for the game and a passion for people and kids, it's kind of carried me to where I'm at now.
How did your time at Pro Hoops NYC and all of that experience working with the youth over there translate into what you're doing now?
It was invaluable. It was almost like a master's in basketball being with Pro Hoops, I like to say, in terms of being in the New York market, being entrenched in the culture of the city, being from Detroit, but being, entrenched in another culture at the youth level and seeing how that is. And then being able to also, work with a lot of professional players, in New York. It kind of carried me from that youth development experience all the way to doing pre-draft or working with the highest level players. So that's, like I said, it was invaluable. It was nothing you could study or do, or it was just a blessed situation for me.
Pro basketball, NBA, WNBA have been at the forefront this year when it comes to social justice and promoting awareness and really making change. What's the importance of youth mentorship to you when you think about making a difference and impacting young lives?
Great question. For me, the most important thing and the way I like to look at things is seeing personally, what I felt that I missed along the way. That maybe, not blaming anyone, but maybe as a coach, I needed this at this point in my career. And I kind of just take that and try not to remove myself so far from being a player. And still stay in that mindset and just take the thought process of like, what do they really need right now? Whether a lot of times it's basketball, but a lot of times it's, personal things also, and just building that trust, building that synergy between me and the players is, very important to me and allows us to grow our relationship where I can't have an effect on them.
When you were an all-rookie Atlantic 10 player in 2005, acclimating to that Fordham culture, bursting upon the scene, to now where you're trying to make a difference in those young players' lives, just in terms of being able to mentor the youth and being able to really make a difference and older players reaching out to younger players and vice versa. What are some of the differences between what the environment was like then versus now, awareness-wise?
Right. Now, I think that's a thing that's kind of become very popular right now. In the basketball culture, I will say, just because I feel like it was, at least where I'm from in Michigan, it was a gap between the professional players, the college players, the high school players. There wasn't anything that kind of brought us all together. So I'll just say, like, from my experience being all rookie at Fordham and having a great coaching staff that was there to support me, on the court, off the court, that is what helped me to become that all-rookie team, you know, giving me confidence through my downtimes, obviously being on a new level. And I kind of carried that into now, you know. I went from, in a matter of 6 months, being a role player on my high school team to being all rookie, which was not expected. And I look at that like, did I get that much better in like a matter of 6 months, or what was really the shift for me? And it was a lot of other things besides just my skills and the support that I had from the coaching staff and the school. So those are some of the things I took from my Fordham experience to kind of take to the kids to say, hey, it's not always basketball. You got to unlock some other things in your mind and your spirit, you know, confidence-wise, to really, you know, be your best self on the court.
You mentioned a shift in your all-rookie season. You had an 18-point game, game-winning 3 over Rhode Island with 3 seconds left on February 20th of that season. That's, of course, among the top Fordham memories for you. Were there any turning points or any moments you point to of hey, I fit in here, and hey, I'm going to make a career out of this?
Yeah, that was definitely one of them. I guess I'll say the 2 other we played that year. We played GW my freshman year. They were pretty good in the conference tournament, and I had not had a good game against them prior in the regular season. So, we played Duquesne in the first round. And I think I had 30 in the first round, my first ever conference tournament game as a freshman. So I was like on the high, and I had payback on my mind, the GW, you know. And we ended up losing. But after the game, Carl Hobbs, who was the coach at the time, he was like, man, I got to get some more players from Michigan, man. Like, that's how y'all be playing out there? I was like, yeah. Like, you know, that kind of let me know, like, one of the, you know, better teams in the conference, the better coaches recognized, you know, it was, you know, to even say something to me, to notice me that, you know, that you're going to be, you know, a force to be reckoned with. So it was that. And then also when we finished top 4 in the conference my junior year, I'm a winner. I pride myself on being a winner, and that was one of the things coming to Fordham. I took a lot of pride in. I'm like, man, my dad always told me you leave things better than you found them, and that's something I wanted to do at Fordham. You know, I know they hadn't had a lot of wins when I got there, but to finish top 4 in the conference, you know, being in play for a bye. You know, it was that was like, all right, now we taking some real steps forward in my mind of where we should be at, you know, as a program and as a group. So
that's Marcus Stout, class of 2008, 2-time captain at Fordham, pro basketball player, and now doing great things mentoring youth basketball as well. Marcus, appreciate a few minutes and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.